Okay, this is video 2 pathways, and we'll look in detail at the ROSA Pathway, the HSC Pathway and the ATAR Pathway. You will select one of these pathways. Each have their own rules, and that will be the pattern of study that you study over the next 2 years. So here is the first pathway, the HSC Pathway. The vast majority of students will complete and receive the HSC. And here you can see it in blue. You must study English. You need to study 4 units of board developed courses. Now I talk about board developed courses and types of courses in more detail in video 4, types of courses. And then you need to study 6 units of either board endorsed or content endorsed courses. So if we look here at the NESA summary, the HSC is the highest school certificate. It is the highest educational award for a student in secondary schools in New South Wales, and it will report on your achievement according to a standard. So what you can demonstrate and perform at, that is the standard that will be recognised. When you complete the HSC in 2023, you will get a testament, which is the pretty certificate that comes in the mail, the official credential. You'll get an HSC record of achievement, and that lists the courses that you have completed and the marks and the grades that you earned in those courses. And you'll get an HSC course report, which will describe the performance bands for each of your subjects and map where you achieved. So if we have a look here, here is the testament of the HSC. Here is the HSC record of achievement, and you can see the different courses are listed there on that record and the result that the student earns. And this is the course report for each subject. So this is a sample for business studies. It has the performance band descriptors for the top band, band 6, all the way down to band 1. It tells you what you needed to do to achieve in those bands. And then on the left-hand side there in the bar graph, it has a black dot, and that'll indicate where you achieved in that course. All right, so if we look at the requirements for the HSC specifically, you will see here that you need to study 2 units of compulsory English, 6 units of a board developed course, 3 courses of 2 units value or greater, and at least 4 subjects. We will go through units, subjects and courses in video 3 in more detail. Okay. So the ATAR pathway. This is for students who want to go to university once they leave school, or for people who are keeping the option open to go to university once they leave school. Here it is in the right in green. Again, you must study English, but this time you must study at least 8 units of a board developed course, and only 1 category B course can be included in that ATAR. Category A and category B courses are covered in more depth in video 4. So the ATAR is different to the HSC. Vast majority of students in year 11 and 12 work towards the HSC. You will choose whether or not you also want to get an ATAR. So here we have the NESA summary. The ATAR is the Australian Tertiary Admission Rank. If you're an older model like myself, you would have studied a TER or a UAI when you're at school earlier on. And it is a rank, not a mark. So it's going to give you a number according to where you performed against everyone else in New South Wales the year you sit the HSC. So here is the UAC summary. Now UAC is the University's Admission Centre. They calculate the ATAR, and they're also the organisation that you will go through if you want to apply for university courses after high school. Here again, it points out that it is a rank. It is not a position, it's a rank, it's not a mark. It is your position, and it'll give you a number between 0.00 and 99.95. So, the most important thing to know that the HSC marks and the ATAR have 2 different purposes. So your HSC mark tells you about your performance and how you've performed in your exams, in your assessments, in your coursework. There is no limit to the number of students who can achieve top marks. So if everyone in your course, say you're doing visual arts, if everyone in your visual arts class is good enough to be in the band 6, then all of them will get a band 6. The ATAR is different. It is about your position or your ranking compared to the rest of New South Wales, and it takes into account your performance across all of your subjects. Its only purpose is to help universities select applicants for their courses. Now, UAC have a really good analogy for this. They look at the HSC and the ATAR as like a running race. Your HSC is your time, so your performance. You might get a personal best, you may not get the time that you usually get, but your ATAR is your place, whether you came first, second or third. So if we look here at the UAC summary, again on the right they have the podium for the race analogy, and they have a really good comparison of the differences between the HSC and the ATAR. So looking again that if you might perform in your course, you perform and you earn a personal best, and that's your really good time, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have come first in that course. And our final pathway that we have here at Mulwaree is the ROSA Pathway, ROSA being the Record of Student Achievement, and there it is on the right in grey. Now this is only for students who do not wish to get an HSC. Because of that, they have a bit more flexibility of the types of courses they can choose. So you can see they must do English. English Studies is probably the recommended course for that one. And then the rest of the 10 units can be any type of course. So this allows for more flexibility to study more content endorsed and board endorsed courses which don't require an HSC exam. However, it's dependent on the combination of subjects that you choose. Often you can still qualify for an HSC doing subjects where the exam is optional. So it'll depend on the actual combination of subjects that you take. It's important to know that you won't get a credential at the end of year 12. You won't get the pretty certificate in the mail, but you will get an e-record of your ROSA when you leave, which will outline all the courses you studied in year 10, 11 and 12 and the marks that you earned for those. The e-record is printed out from a student's online account. Now everyone year 10 has activated those accounts and they'll be able to do that once they finish that pathway. Okay, keeping your options open. If you're not sure yet whether or not you do want to go to university, that is perfectly normal. What we would suggest that in that situation is that you select an ATAR pathway, and then later on in year 11 or 12, when you've had a chance to think about it and where you want to go, then you can change to an HSC pathway if that's what works for you then. And here we have again the green ATAR pathway where you study English, 8 units of board developed courses, and you can have one category B course included in that calculation.